Hi everybody, this is Professor Vladimir Alvarez again, and in this video I am going to clarify something for you to keep in mind. Is the sounds of English. It is like very sometimes not difficult, a bit complex for Spanish speakers when they're learning English to learn the sounds of English. Especially when we talk about vowel sounds in English, vowel or vocales in English, because English language has like 18 vowel sounds, plus diphthongs, plus triphthongs, so it is a bit complex or a kind of confusing for Spanish speakers when learning English. Well, this class is, or this this video is going to be about that. I am going to clarify the different sounds. I'm going to talk about the consonant sounds and the vowel sounds, okay? So, as you can see in the title, it says like the 42 sounds of the English language. Actually, those are the sounds of the English language. Of course, there are some other sounds, but they don't like qualified into this category because these are like the blending sounds and the triphthongs and some other sounds that are not they are produced because of language connections and linking expressions and words. So, as you can see here, once you familiarize with them, it is going to be easy for you to understand more about pronunciation and the way words are pronounced. In today's activity, I ask you to start practicing phonetic spelling with some basic words that are like common for us. But as long as we start like practicing spelling, phonetic spelling, it would be easier for you to understand and learn the different sounds of English. So, let's start. First of all, I am going to start with the consonant sounds, okay? There are 20 consonant sounds and 18 vowel sounds in the English language. I am going to start first with the consonant, as I said before. The consonant sounds, well, in the consonant sounds there are 24 consonant sounds and they are divided into 6 groups. Which are those groups? Well, we have the plosive or stops, we have the nasals, we have the fricatives, we have the affricate, we have the lateral sounds, and we have the glide sounds. Okay, I am going to give a short explanation of one of these sounds, of these consonant sounds. Okay, let's start with the first group. Okay, so the plosive or stop sounds. What are they called, plosive or stop sounds? Well, plosive because when you produce that specific phoneme, there is explosion in the pronunciation. For example, as you can see, there are 6 plosive sounds in the English. These are p, t, k, and b, d, and g. These p, t, k are voiceless plosives. Voiceless plosive because they produce explosion. How can you notice when it's a plosive or a stop sound? Well, you can like do it. If you want to feel it, you can like put some water into your palm hand, or maybe if you want, you can lick it like this, and you start reproducing the sounds. When you say, like, for example, p, p, you feel the air that is blowing comes in rush and crashes or hits the palm hand. You can feel there is a flow of air that hits against our palm. With the also, you can feel the air hitting your palm hand, and the also You can feel the flow of air that hits your hand, as well as the b, yeah, as well as the d, and g. Of course, with these sounds that are voice, because they produce vibration here, with these three sounds, you can feel also the air comes out from your mouth and hits your palm hand. That's the way you can recognize the plosive or stop sounds. They call it stop because when you produce the sound, it stops like this. It stops in once. Some examples of p sounds are like p, as in pit, pan, and cup. Some examples of t, as in tin, tea, and hat. Some examples of k, as in coat, key, and lock. Remember, we practiced key in one of the exercises we made in the synchronous class we had on last Sunday. Some examples of plosive voice voice plosives are like b, as in bit, ben, and lab. We have the d, as in din, do, and had. In G, we have like in goat, gun, and lug. I just want to stop here and want to clarify this. Whenever you pronounce a word that ends in D, please make the D sound. Do not make a T sound. Because many people tend to say like hat. No, it's had. And then the sound is stop. The sound is stop. Had. Ready. So, let's talk about the second group. Nasal sounds. Nasal sounds, well, they are called nasal because these sounds are produced most in the part of the nose and the nostrils. The air doesn't come from the mouth, but from the nose. It comes out from the nose. So that's the reason why they are called nasal sounds. Well, in English, there are only three nasal sounds, as you can see, is the m, the n, and the ng. The sound is produced here in the glottis, here in the glottal part of our vocal device. How can you feel they are nasal sounds? Well, you can do the same. You can put one of these. You can put this finger. You can wet it a bit, or maybe you can put some I don't know, saliva here, and then you make it like so you can feel the air. Yeah, the air flows and comes out from the nose and hits your finger. Or in the case of or ng. So the flow of air comes out, yes, from the nose, okay? So that's why they call nasal sounds. Some examples of nasal sounds are like as in moan or many, lemon, omelette. Some people when they send this voice audio repeating the sounds that was one of the first activities we made last week, they say omelette. No. The pronunciation is omelette, okay? And some examples of N is like, for example, never, learner, handy, son, and lone. And some examples of ng. This sounds is the one that is produced mostly in ing endings. Like, for example, bring, hanger, wrongly, think, banking. That's the sound that we call nasal, and it's that sound. Okay. Moving forward, we go to fricative sounds, okay? Fricative sounds. Why are they called fricative sounds? They are called fricative sounds because they produce friction. When producing the sound, they produce friction. They produce friction, for example, well, there are 9 fricative sounds in English, and they produce the air produces friction when the air comes out from the mouth, okay, from the mouth. For example, one of these is like, so you feel the air makes friction between the lip and the upper teeth, like this, okay, the lips and the upper teeth. That's in the case of, the friction is produced between the tongue and the upper teeth. So, and this one is, the sound is produced between the tongue and the palatal, the hard palatal, because we have a hard palatal and a soft palatal. That is the one that is near, very close to the glottis, okay? And we have this sound that is produced with the tongue as well with the front teeth, okay? These are fricative that are voiceless because they don't produce sounds. Let's repeat them again. So, and the other sounds that produce frictions are voiced, by the way, voiced because they do produce friction here. Remember how you can feel if these words produce vibration, because you put your finger here, your fingers here like this, and then you feel the vibration in the vocal cords. So, sounds like so, are fricative and are voiceless sounds, okay? Are voice sounds, sorry, so voice sounds. They produce vibration. I just skip some examples from these sounds because I just want to focus on these sounds in some activities forward. Now, let's move on affricates. Affricates. Why affricates? So why are they called affricates? Okay. First, these affricates are a combination between stop, yes, stop and fricative sounds, okay? So that's why I use this drawing or this, this drawing in order for you to see, you stop the sound and then you produce it, okay? The English language has 2 affricate sounds, and these are the sounds, yes? They produce friction, and then at the same time they produce explosion. Okay, so that's why they're stop and explosion at the same time. Yeah, this is the ch, and the other one is the j, j. Remember, I focused on this sound last Sunday class because many of you tend to use this sound. Many of you tend to use these sounds to say GR, yesterday, yes, and yet. No, remember, that's I clarify that, okay? So, some examples of these words are like choosing and beach, right? I clarify the pronunciation of that word as well. Joy, as in joy, and jump. Moving on to the 5th group, we have the lateral sounds. The lateral sounds, or sometimes they are called the liquid sounds, is because the air comes from the sides, from the lateral sides of the tongue. When you pronounce the L, you say L, and the air comes from these 2 holes that are made between the tip of the tongue and the alveolar ridge. Alveolar ridge is this part that is between these two teeth. You understand? Here, just in the back part, you can feel something hard as soon as it's a small Alveolar ridge is a small gum. Eso lo llaman el alveolo. Pueden sentir esa pepita detrás de los dientes frontales, so you can feel it. I just use Spanish for you to understand. So when you put the tip of the tongue in that part, so the sound comes from the sides, okay, from the sides. So that's why they call lateral sounds. Well, in the English language, there lateral sounds is like L, R. The letter R is sometimes considered as a lateral sound because it uses the same movement. Like, for example, when you say R, you say R, R. The only thing is that the tip of the tongue is a bit in behind, okay? It's almost in the palatal. But, well, the L sound, it has two common variations in English. For example, we have the clear L, and this is produced when it is before a vowel, and the dark L when it is at the end of a word or before a consonant. For example, when it sounds clear in the examples as are shown here, like lo, leaf, holler, and melon. It sounds dark. Or a bit bassy, or because it sounds like listen, all, feel, holding, and mel. It sounds a bit dark. The sound is not that clear. Well, moving into the sixth group, we have the glide sounds. I put a hand gliding here because they are produced like very easy, and they don't produce that complex sounds, that complex movement in our vocal device. Okay, our vocal device that is formed by our throat, cheeks, lips, tongue, teeth, palatal, all the parts. They are called glide because they are also called semivowels, and I want to clarify something here. I clarified this last Sunday class, synchronous class. The yeah, because it sounds similar to a vowel sound, but it isn't. So that's why they call semivowels. Well, one of the sounds are like this one here, that is w. You could see in the spelling of the numbers that you just made today. When you write one, you use this first sound. Then you say one. Okay, w. The other sound here is yeah. And the last one that is also located into the fricative sound. Sometimes the H doesn't have sound in English. Well, in some cases, but this is the general, a few cases, it is also a glide sound. Glide sound because the air just moves easily through the mouth and from the throat and goes out easily, like what, or yeah, or well, we have words like wet, we, you, yes, hi, and hello. With this part, I close everything related to the consonant sounds.